Hi, this is a video about ratio. I'm going to show you two examples on ratio calculations and two examples on sharing in a given ratio. The first example is this. Jim and Lynn compare their weekly pays. The ratio of their pays is Jim to Lynn is 6 to 7. So part A says if Jim earns £300, how much must Lynn have earned? If Lynn earned 490, how much must Jim have earned? Part A, the ratio Jim to Lynn is 6 to 7. This means that every £6 that Jim earns, Lynn earns £7. So if Jim earns £12, Lynn will earn £14. If Jim earns £18, Lynn will earn £21. So and so on. Now the question is, if Jim earns £300, so if we can carry on like this and get to 300, but that will take us a while. But pretty much what we are doing here is how many sixes do you need to get to 300? So in other words, is divide 300 by 6 to see how many 6 do you need to get to 300, and the answer is 50. So you need 50 sixes. Now, since there are 50 sixes, there will be 50 sevens regarding Lynn. So Lynn is going to earn £350. Part B, the ratio is the same, 6 to 7 for Jim and Lynn. If Lynn earns 490, how much will Jim earn? So how many 7 do you need to get to 490? In other words, 490 divided by 7, which is 70. So you need the 70 sevens to get to 490. So you will need the 70 sixes. Because for every £7 that Lynn earns, £6 will be earned by Jim. So Jim earns £420 if Lynn earns 490. Second example is this. Whilst driving along the motorway, I noticed a train running parallel to my car and going in the same direction. I guess that the ratio train speed to car speed is 5 to 3. I was driving at 60 miles per hour. What was the speed of the train? The ratio is 5 to 3. Train to car. If I was driving at 60 miles per hour, so if the car would get to 60, so how many 3 do you need to get to 60? The operation is 60 divided by 3, so you'll need 20 of them. What was the speed of the train? 20 times 5, because you need 20 of them as well. Miles per hour. Moving on to sharing, this is the first example on the sharing. Angela and Carol set up a catering business selling sandwiches and drinks from a van. Angela uses £600 of her saving and Carol puts 400 into the business. Write down and simplify the ratio, Angela's share to Carol's share. Part A. Part B, each month they share the profits not equally, but in the same ratio as their investment. In July, the profit made was £1,500. How much should each of them receive? We have Angela put 600 into the business and Carol put 400 into the business. So the ratio Angela to Carol is 600 to 400. The question asks to write down the ratio in a simplest form, so we need to simplify this. And both of those numbers are in the 200 timetable. So how many 200 goes in 600? 3. How many 200 goes in 400? 2. Part B asks to share £1,500 in a ratio 3 to 2. So Angela gets 3 parts of that £1,500 and Carol gets 2 parts of £1,500. So the first thing we need to work out is how many parts are there altogether. And there are 5 parts because Angela gets 3 parts and Carol gets 2. So altogether is 5 parts. Now, how much is 1 part worth? So we need to divide the amount we share by the number of parts, which is £300, and this is what 1 part is worth. Now Angela gets 3 of these parts, so we need to times this by 3 to know how much Angela gets. She will get £900, while Carol gets 2 parts. 1 part was £300, so it'll be 300 times 2, which is £600. That's what Carol gets. Make sure that if you add up what Angela and Carol get, you should get what you started with. So 900 plus 600 is £1,500, which is what we started with. So this is a good indication that you've done the work correctly. Last example is this. Gregor and Peter combine their money to bet on a horse race. Gregor has £20 and Peter has £30. Write down and simplify the ratio of their betting stakes. Their horse wins and the payout is £450. If they share the £450 and the ratio of their stakes, how much will each receive? We're going to write the ratio. So Gregor, we've got Gregor and Peter. Gregor put £20 while Peter put 30. So we need to write that in the simplest form. So simplify those numbers, same as a fraction. What timetable are they both in? They're both in the 10 timetable. So how many 10 goes in 20? 2. How many 10 goes in 30? 3. So that is the ratio in the simplest form. Part B asks to share £450 in a ratio 2 to 3. This is for Gregor and that's for Peter. First of all, we need to work out how many parts are there. So 2 plus 3 is 5. There are 5 parts altogether. Now let's work out how much is 1 part worth by dividing the amount we're going to share by the number of parts. That's £90. So 1 part is worth £90. Now Gregor gets 2 of those parts. So 90 times 2 is £180. That's what Gregor's payout is. And Peter gets 3 of these parts, which is £270, and that's what Peter's payout is. Again, if we add it up, we should get £450. We do get £450. Now the next 2 slides is some work for you to work through. The first slide has got questions from 4 to 7. The second slide is in question 9. Pause the video on the questions and work through, and then after question 9 I'm going to put a picture of answers so you can check that you've done your work correctly. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it's a little bit clearer, and if you need any more clarification, let me know. Please ask me any specific question if you have any. Thank you.